If you like cats and dogs and dating and drama. If you like cats and dogs and dating and drama. If you like guys and girls and horrible emotional trauma. If you like feeling great for the first 20 pages of a storyline and then having your heart ruined, well, this is the story for you, and it's called Bittersweet Candy Bowl. The greatest story ever told about a bunch of cats. Once it's got you, it takes hold. Come and join the fun. No, we don't know where Lucy's at. 3 times a week, hearts are breaking as we speak. So come and get a taste of the bittersweet cats.
I think that I'm over it. Everything you said, I'm over it. Don't get me started on the older shit. I hope you never get to cope with it. Hey! I don't like you anymore. Oh well. I don't fucking like you anymore. Oh well. Jumping off the roof, 'cause I'm not scared at all. Jumping off the roof, 'cause I don't care. Because I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. Yeah, hope I never see you. No one ever saw the mean. Yeah, I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. You said I'm a parasite. You think that I'm garbage, so I hope that you thought you were right. This is you, goddamn, you're right. I hope that eventually I'll get over the fucking night and close my eyes. My last goodbye. Jumping off the roof, 'cause I'm not scared at all. Jumping off the roof, 'cause I don't care. Because I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. Yeah, hope I never see you. No one ever saw the mean. Yeah, I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone.
No, there we go. Hello, everyone. We are back again with more Donde Esta Lucy. And wow, you know what? Before we get started, I just want to say that I made a video yesterday morning that I didn't even intend to make. It was just supposed to be like a test or whatever, like for me to just be like, oh, I'll just like put something up and see where it goes. And I ended up making a video, a sequel, a spiritual successor to a video that a lot of people really liked, and I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. That video is gonna be going up in, let's see. That video is gonna be going up in a few weeks. Because there are a lot of other videos that have to go up first. Transform, center on screen, there we go. and I think you guys are going to enjoy those videos as well. A lot of fun stuff coming your way. You just have to wait for it to happen. Anyway, it's a beautiful day outside, and I have the day off, so what better way to spend that than indoors reading a Tumblr blog from 2014. Also, I'm gonna see The Little Mermaid remake today. I rewatched the original version this morning, and now I'm all ready to go. But we're not here to talk about any of that. We're gonna jump right into it and see what more wonderful things we can find on this blog. We found a lot of fun stuff already, and I look forward to finding even more fun stuff. So let's take a look. Let's see, Destiny of Awe. I think we ended off with these two. Destiny of Awe. BCB is technically the reason I have a phone. Anyway, when I first found BCB, I was so desperate to find out what happened that I took the family cell to school. The whole family only had one cell phone. I wonder how old this story is, by the way. That I took it. So the family cell was my mom's old Android, and after I read the comic in class, after I caught up, I realized, hey, it's good to have a smartphone. Because my old one broke the year before, so I started taking it more often. And that's how BCB got me a new phone. It's a good story. I remember what my first smartphone was. Actually, let me. It's this one. So this is actually not my first smartphone, but it is basically exactly the same what my first smartphone was. Now, my first cell phone ever was a flip phone. It was a little white Virgin Mobile flip phone from the mid-2000s, and that I had like I think that was a hand-me-down too. And I had like a little Monopoly on there, but there's no way I could have read BCB on that little thing. There's no way. It was so shit. Oh wait, let me put on some chill mute Zelda vibes in the background. Hold up, guys. I like to put me some vibes on. There we go. It's not too loud, is it? Let me turn that down a bit, actually. Yeah, there we go. Alright. How can you deal with all of your sites? Is this what you do for a living, or you have another work? This is all we do. If one half of our life is working on BCB updates 3 times a week, the other half is everything else. And with other jobs, we'd fall behind on the extra stuff. Believe me, we've tried it. Totally. This is Kayak's little map of the place we've been in 2014. See, I can't really zoom. Oh, there we go. That looks like Maryland. Okay. No Virginia visits. Actually, like 2 years ago, I think they visited DC. DC! Which is neat. Finger painting on Space Mousie's passenger window as he drove us to the bus station. Oh my god. Oh my god! That's wonderful. You know what the great thing about being an artist is? You can literally put your art anywhere. You can literally do it on anything with anything. I think that is like super cool. It's like a magic power. It's like you're placing runes everywhere, like a magic rune. This is truly the rarest Apollo X Lucy ship image. Skeleton Illuminati SJW line. Just make sure you're furry, since all I want to do is play video games. Oh my god. Shake my damn head, dog fuckers. That's a cat! That's a cat! Get it right. If you're gonna insult me, do it properly. I mean, they're not really insulting me, but you know what I mean. See, easily the best macro I've seen. GG, that fucking face on Prime Avatars. A joke request on the BCB art stream led to a picture of Apollo kissing Vivian James, which I embellished with some text to bait prospective Gamergators who might try to ruin it, who might run into it. It kind of worked out, except it ended up getting reposted by Gamergate mock Twitter. Hilarious. That's so weird. Seeing Apollo kiss a human It's so weird. But I'm glad it exists. I don't know if I want to say I'm glad it exists, but it's a thing that exists. This looks like Giant Kitty's art. Flower Hack, BCB sketches, wop wop. Also, Lucy is covered in chocolate icing. Okay, don't get weird. Whoa. I wasn't thinking it was anything else, but now that you mention it. Put this down, yeah. Nice. Let me see if I can figure out who is who. So that's Lucy for sure. Daisy? Maybe? I don't know who this is. David? Possibly? Jasmine? Lucy again. Okay, I assume that's Lucy. Lucy. Hollow. And Lucy. Sandy. Nice. When did the updates become 2 hours later? Daylight savings time, just 1 hour later. Yeah, when did the updates go to 1 day a week? That's what I want to know. A lot of people think that the comic isn't going to go back to a 3-day-a-week upload schedule, but I believe that it will. There should be a message. Oh. Hong Kong. Bittersweet Candy Bowl Comic Reader iPhone has been updated. Wait, can I... What is this? Is this still in the iTunes store? I don't think this is going to connect to the iTunes store. We need a forum to discuss what? What do you mean? Wait, was this after they took the forum down? Or was this before they had a forum? What do you mean to discuss what? No, this was after the forums were removed, right? I came from DeviantArt. I saw your meme, well, suitcase meme, and was wondering, does he draw the comic too? I'm not good at drawing, and so I luckily do not draw the comic. I do work on the art in the loose sense that I clean everything up, going dialogue, layout fixes, and occasionally reconstructing the edges of panels that need a lot of manipulation. But I'm not good at knowing what looks right when it comes down to anatomical details, just color and cropping and placement. This is basically just a editor. Oh, this is wonderful. Hey Toasty, draw some furry and piss related. Wait, draw something furry and piss related, and then regardless of the chapters, post it on Tumblr and tag it with BCB. Oh. Oh, I'm so glad, Lucy. Oh, Lucy, I'm so glad you want to be friends. Thank you for the snow. Oh no, he gave her the piss cone. You're in trouble. Listen. Hilarious. It's like this comic can't escape it. I love the face. I love the Grinch face. Hey guys, I was wondering if it's allowed to post others' artwork on the Boru. I've had some of my stuff posted under my DeviantArt username, Captain Alley, and I don't know what I'd do if I made an account. And I don't know what I'd do if I made an account on the Boru. I've considered it, but I've been held back by questions like, do I just not take credit, or do I repost my work? I'm okay with it being there, but I thought it'd be nice to post my own stuff there. You misspelled I've several times. I don't know why. Hello, Callie. How's it going? Good to see you. It doesn't matter who uploads it. The artist is set via a tag. If your username is Captain Alley, you can just tag the post with Captain Alley _artist, and it will show up in the sidebar with the credit to you. Like, this was drawn by Captain Alley. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, we all know how the Candy Boru works. Anonymous. Do either of you object to some proofreading and peer review some webcomic / story sometime? I love feedback from someone that has actually experienced. Oh, I thought they were like, oh, can the audience peer review your story? See, our time is limited, but we can give it a shot. It's always best if you can isolate something we can read in like 5 to 15 minutes, and if you make it clear how much criticism you're okay with receiving, feel free to email. Very cool. Quick doodle of the Siamese background character from Bittersweet Candy Bowl. You mean Sue? Is this supposed to be Sue? Sue is... Unless this is another character. Is this an Augustus X Sue child? What is this? Whatever it is, it's very wonderful. It's a very beautiful piece of art. Hi BCB team, was wondering if the app will still work if I don't have the latest update on my phone because my phone does not have enough storage for the update. Just asking because before it crashed on launch up, if I clear space from my phone, will that be fixed? Thanks, I have an iPhone 4. The newest version of the app requires iOS 7, so you'll be forced to upgrade if you want to run it. I realize that's not a great option for an iPhone 4 user, but I'm not sure what to do about it. We need to upgrade to get access to some new features. The crash was unrelated. It was a very common problem that emerged one day and took most of a year for us to fix. I feel sorry for it being such a big problem, but it's all over now. This is the reason why they don't have the app anymore, because it just didn't work. I don't know if that was like an issue with the programming for the app or whatever, or if it was like just an issue with Apple's their operating system. Just saying, we don't have these problems on Android. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there. Will you guys be going to Kineticon again? I'm still bummed I missed you this year. We are eager to go in 2015 and hope we are invited back. Okay, yeah, alright. Kineticon. Oh, look at that! It's a cute little Rachel. Little chibi sprite art Rachel from like an RPG or something. Any plans to visit Michigan? Yes, we have Fago Soda. I don't know what that is. We almost went to YumaCon, but due to reasons on their end, they only offered us a table 2 weeks before the con and we couldn't really swing it. Maybe next year. What is Fago Soda? Wow. The one true pop. Interesting. They got blue. I just want to say, I love the art style you have right now. I think it's a perfect blend of color and shading, and it feels very art-like, and I love that. I also love the style that you use in earlier comics, like from the chapter Breaking Up, as it comes across as more realistic. In my opinion, I just wanted to say this since you recently had the survey. Haha, thanks. Breaking Up was done back when I was using black ink, and I've always wanted to master using color line art, so unless I wanted to make the comic quicker to draw, I probably wouldn't go back. Also, the character sizes. I know I'm still having a bit of trouble getting the anatomy perfect with the new style, and now it'll take quite a bit of toying around, but man, seeing the older drawings with the more human and not anatomically correct style makes me cringe. They look too weird to me. Let me pull up. You don't know what that is? Fago Soda? Nah, dude, I'm not from Michigan. Let me actually pull up Breaking Up real quick. So Breaking Up was during the watercolor era. It actually looks really nice. I like the style. I like the shading. Look at the subtle shading on Sue. This is just like an incredible style. One of the better BCB styles. IMO. Not gonna lie, if Daisy X Paulo is an endgame, I will totally respect the author's decision, but I will secretly forever consider them endgame. Best ship. Yeah, Oliver, Suitcase considers Daisy X Paulo the OTP. Obviously it's gonna be endgame. But I also feel like arrogant for saying that, like, oh yeah, clearly, because it might not be, and then I'm gonna feel foolish for thinking that it is. But like, it is going to be though. That's the thing. It's like people know what's going to happen, and I think that's why people get frustrated, because it feels like we're going through the motions, and we just want the thing to happen that we know is gonna happen anyway. I don't know. Oh, look at how thin she is. What Daisy is this? Bringing Paulo homework because he's still chilling in the hospital. Also, Daisy's forever best girl. I agree. Except Sue is best girl, so you know. I don't know very well how to write this question, so I'll write it this way if you don't bother to use a traductor. Huh? Veronica, Oliver. Wait, okay, I need to experience like this. I'm very sorry. Pull this. With which couple from your comic do you feel the most identified, or which character do you identify the most? Okay, so basically, who do you identify with the most? What character or what couple? Suitcase, I don't mean to sound haughty about it, but I just don't read things to identify with characters on a level beyond which is narratively important. Example, in Guardians of the Galaxy, where we are supposed to find common ground in Red Jacket Cassette Tape Man. I think the real-world setting of BCB means there's no need to really have a straight man character you can cling to as the world around you changes, so instead this becomes a question that's irrelevant to a person like me, who has no interest in seeing themselves reflected in fiction. I think all the main characters reflect little parts of me. As for a pairing I identify with, again, it's hard. I don't think there's a good reflection of myself or Veronica in the comics, so any answer I'd give to you would be a weak one. Gotta go. Alright, you have a great day, man. I appreciate you showing up. So, we'll tackle the first thing you said. I think all the main characters reflect little parts of me. So, as I've said a lot, when it comes to the whole self-insert thing, every time an artist creates something, they put a little bit of themselves into that art. And so this idea where like, oh, it's a self-insert is just kind of a silly concept to me. To a certain extent. Sometimes it's like, I guess it is possible for that to be like a negative thing or like done in a bad way. But, oh, did the Zelda music stop playing? Didn't stop. There we go. So there's not, as far as like not identifying with fictional characters, I guess it's perfectly fine, but I also think it's great to see a character going through a similar struggle that you're going through because it makes you feel a little bit less alone. Because the idea is that even though it's a fictional character, that character was written by a real person, and the fact that there is something out there on paper that you can see that is like you understand what that character is going through, and that character is going through the same thing you're going through. It makes you feel a little bit more connected and a little bit less isolated. Like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to feel alone, I guess. It's like, okay, whatever I'm going through, it's not specific to me. It is not just like I'm trapped in this whatever's happening. As far as the pairing, so honestly, back like I think it was 2 streams ago, it was 2 streams ago, when we read the whole story about how Teshi and Suitcase got together. A lot of that seemed very similar to what ended up happening with Mike and Lucy. A lot of it was like, this feels very inspired, or BCB feels very inspired by this. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with, and this is their relationship. So that's just me looking through that one snapshot in time, or the way that it was explained. So I could be completely wrong and extrapolating the wrong things from it. But there's not necessarily anything wrong, like I said, with people taking real world experiences for inspiration for something that they're creating. Teshi, it's hard to identify with things that are not official. I guess Paulo x Lucy is something I identify with because they're a pairing that's just fun and laugh at things that would be very merry if they were together. But I feel like that would be the same with Mike x Lucy if all the baggage was lost. Though Paulo x Lucy would always be them dicking around and laughing at things and people. I don't know who I identify with most in BCB. I empathize with many of the characters' problems, but nobody is really me. That's actually a really good way to put it. That's the best way I could possibly put it. Or that anyone could. I agree with that. Let's see. Oh, Lucy, I never meant any of those horrible things I said to you. I actually love you. Me too, Mike. I love you too. Now let's make out. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Boy, I sure love Bittersweet Candy. Me, every time I write a fan fiction, literally every fan fiction ever. Double inside joke time. This is from a while ago. I think the subject's evergreen. It literally is. Look, she even drew the Tsundere Lucy. Now kiss. Lucy versus RoboCop versus Kamen Rider versus Squidward for Enter 1 comes out. Well, who would win? I don't know who Kamen Rider is. That it might not be. People might get mad at me for not knowing who this is. Oh, what the fuck is this? It's a TV show. That guy looks kind of tough. Well, Lucy's just a kid, so she'd probably lose to a cyborg with guns, a guy that is full-grown guy. Squidward, you know what? Lucy could beat Squidward. I'll give Lucy that at least. Lucy would at least dog Squidward. But RoboCop and Kamen Rider, I don't know. What are each of your favorite BCB mini comics / short stories? Oh, this is a good question. I think Starting Over is an amazing side story that I remain really pleased with. I think it does such a good job. Veronica came up with an awesome concept for that chapter, and I think the fact we refined it over such a long period led to it working really well. That's a compelling recap for new readers. Nobody compliments it much, but at the same time, nobody complains too often about missing details from Volume 1. I consider that a great success. I absolutely agree, actually. Where the fuck is it? Is it not on here anymore? So, this, for those of you who don't know, this is the intro to Volume 2, and it literally just recaps everything. It reminds me a lot of... God, where is it? Where is it? This. It reminds me a lot of this, where it's like basically a narrative, like she's speaking narratively, or like, I don't know, like a character in the story is explaining all the characters in the story, basically. But this is like done over a longer period of time. Oh. And then you get all the... Yeah, I won't read all of this here, but I really do recommend checking it out. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. I don't think it's canon, though. So that kind of sucks. Of the BCI chapters, I'm most impressed by Accidents Will Happen, which is this indulgent but interesting exploration of how Augustus, Abby, and Paulo will react if Augustus actually got Daisy pregnant. Like a lot of these chapters, it's a little wordy, but it's pretty satisfying and proves some insight into the characters through a pretty weird situation. So the things with the BCIs is, I know they're not canon, but I like to assume that the characters' feelings and emotions would be canon. And so for those of you who haven't read Accidents Will Happen, basically this takes place while Abby and Daisy are in a relationship, and Augustus kind of sweet talks Daisy into having sex with them behind a bush. And then Daisy confesses to Abby. Abby's like, she doesn't say the extent, she's just like, I did something really bad with Augustus. And Abby's like, it's a really shitty thing you did, but I'm gonna forgive you. Just don't do it again. And then Daisy gets pregnant. And then Abby breaks up with her because he's like, I don't remember the specific quote, but he's something like, the idea that he put something into you disgusts me, or something like that. And then they break up, and then Daisy gets an abortion, and Paulo's kind of like with her there to help her through that. It's one of the more it was one of the harsher BCIs, and just like completely, like, you want to... I've always talked about why BCB hasn't done a teen pregnancy arc, because it's done every single high school drama thing under the sun, except for that. And this is basically that, but it's locked behind a paywall. I also have to mention Mostly Harmless, which is just plain cute and does a lot to define some of the characters we've never seen before. I actually don't remember this one, but I'm sure it's fine. Neither of these chapters are free online, but I'm afraid, but BCI is right over there. Yeah, I'm banned from the BCI, sadly. I gotta agree with your BCI choices, honestly. I had the most fun doing these. I like doing alternate reality BCB events. Sorry for the boring answer. I guess you took the words right out of my mouth. I can tell that Teshi really likes the, doing the BCIs. Because they're like, there's so much inspiration. They feel the wild, anything could happen that the original version of the comic was, like the first several chapters. I don't know, there's like a spirit and inspiration to them that the modern comic, it kind of is getting back. Stuff with like the track team's fun. It's an interesting new concept, but it's not quite there, but it's getting there. We're getting there. Dinner time, 10-page sample. This is actually just a regular ass chapter now. As a comic, I remember fondly though. You get to see quite a few pages in the BCI example session, but as a comic style, I was toying with it at the time. So yeah, I mean, we don't really. Is this? Maybe she did some rewrite. I don't remember this chapter too much because it's kind of like a weird intermission type chapter that not really much happens. It's just kind of like a recap of everything that's happened and Lucy's emotions. She definitely didn't seem this happy in it, from what I remember. Let's see. Hi, I was wondering if there's any more redrawn chapters in the books that we don't see in the website. Sorry if this has been answered before. There aren't any chapters that are redrawn in the books but old on the site. However, every book has exclusive chapters and illustrations and cutout games and things. These are the things I'd really want to see. We know that most people don't want to buy books of stuff they can get for free, so we make sure to spend a couple months on content for the books every time. We want more people to read them. Some of the stories are really cute. I actually have no idea what stories are, like what chapters are in the books. And it would be interesting to know what they are. Probably stuff, I assume they're not canon, by the way, because I feel like anything that is canon, that is absolutely important for the story, should be on the website. I'm not if this was answered before, but what was the reasoning for removing the pets from the comic? Obviously, the audience won't see them anyway since they belong to Lucy, and it may be quite some time until we see a chapter through her perspective. So they do actually end up. Well, they don't say. We're gonna find out the reason. The reason in universe that they're not there is because they just weren't comfortable coming back to Roseville. Let's see. People really couldn't get over them. The pets were often cited when it came to people being really confused about the world of BCB, almost as often as the whole "why do some wear clothes?" This is actually true. Basically, the idea, and this is on the Bittersweet Candy Bowl Iceberg too, by the way. Go check the video out. But essentially, it's like, how come some pets are basically treated as equals, almost, and some pets are put in cages, like the class hamster? Like, oh, well, it's a funny talking cat comic, so don't think about it too hard. In the old series, I just drew them because I wanted to and I thought it was fun. I never really sat down and thought about the world of the comic. I just treated it as this big old cartoon. And I mean, that's kind of what it was. A bunch of cartoon cats that so happen to go to high school and have weird things happening. Got more realistic when I made it into an online comic, but I guess I left certain things in, like the pets, that couldn't really be reasonably explained. Yeah, so this actually makes sense. I'm like, this is basically the shift from like the weird kind of out there style of the original chapters to what it is now, where it's more of a grounded thing, even if some things are kind of weird, like how Lucy somehow survived that fall. I guess the pets also make a bit more sense in the old series, because in the old series they weren't just cats and dogs. There were mice and giraffes and lions and stuff, but those animals got erased over time because I cared about the cats and dogs way more. They're gone because of Lucy being gone, yeah, but they were used less and less over time because I legit couldn't answer the world-building questions from people, and they seemed to use that as an example of why they didn't want to give the comic a chance. It just didn't make sense, and I guess if that turns off a person, that's fine, but it became too much of a hassle to keep the pets around because of that. It's kind of weird not to give the comic a chance because the pets thing doesn't make any sense. That's just a weird... Like, fantasy exists. I don't know. But of all the things... I'll finish this last paragraph and I'll finish my thought. This is another problem with just making a comic for fun and you do whatever with it and then realizing you have a fan base that helps make you have it as a job. So you have to take the comic seriously. Haha, it's something I will never do again with any of my future comics. I'm totally going to plan it from the start. So this is actually one of the things I really agree with Teshi doing, removing the pets from the comic, because it was just kind of like, why are they here? We don't really need them. Lily's too much of a of a Deus Ex Machina to like solve all their problems, and the only way that Lily couldn't solve their problems is if the characters just straight up didn't listen to her, and at that point it would just be extremely frustrating to have to deal with it. One chapter, Hot Pursuit, where Lily's like, "Do you even remember what we talked about the other day?" And Mike's like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" It's just like, yeah, it's frustrating because it's like Mike just forgot that entire conversation for no reason. He just forgot it. And if Lily hadn't pointed it out, I wouldn't even have noticed, probably. I would have noticed, but it wouldn't have been so bad. Did McCain get written out too? No, he just doesn't have much of a place anymore. He only shows up if I have a reason to have him around, and that hasn't been the case for a long time. Ideally, I'd rather just use my characters. He's not gone, but he's not a character you should be expecting. Gone, but not forgotten. Are there's anyone gay, not just / Matt? Follow in all the best fanfics. Wait. Was there a gay Paulo fanfic by this time? In 2014? I'm not so sure. Not everyone has to just be gay or straight. There's a spectrum. GB2/Tumblr/ I don't know what that means. But also, what about Madison? Wasn't Madison, like, introduced at this time? So, like, they just forgot. Everyone forgets about poor Madison. How are you guys? Just want to say you guys are awesome and your comic is amazing. Keep being awesome. Thank you. I'm doing okay. A bit stressed out about planning the next chapter because it's going to be a bit of a challenge to make, but oh well, you gotta do what you can. Wait, what was the next chapter? Hold up. Sunday, 23 November 2014. This was November 2014. December. August. So that means that she's probably talking about Trapped. If I had to guess. Yeah. Yeah, so I assume she's talking about Trapped, which was a big chapter. This was basically Augustus's entire backstory, his tragic backstory. It's a good one, though. It's a really good chapter. I like Trapped a lot, actually. Oh shit. Lucy is an amiibo. Wow, these amiibos really were incredible. We love to see it. Me, my brother, and his friends all have been talking for a few years about making a Bittersweet Candy Bowl fan anime for you guys. Have you now? Where is it? Where is the anime? Where's it at? Wow, that sounds ambitious. Go for it. But don't underestimate how much work animation is. It's hard enough to do when you're being paid for it. Ah, wow, I wish you the best of luck in making it. That sounds like a lot of work. You can definitely go for it if you want to. I'd be interested in seeing it.
It never ended up happening.
See, here's the thing about working on projects like this. Like, people have that initial burst of motivation when they come up with the idea because it's like, oh, it's this new thing, we're going to start working on it. But, like, the more you get into it, it's like you got all these logistical problems, and you're like, man, we got to, like, worry about the animation and the voice acting, and, like, everything's just so hard. And it is a huge undertaking. And you really need somebody who's, like, the get-it-done guy. I don't know if I've talked about this on stream. I feel like I have talked about it at some point somewhere, but you need the get-it-done guy. The guy that's, like, going to keep pushing the charge even when things feel stagnant. You just gotta keep pushing forward, and you just gotta get it done. You look at the list of problems, and you solve one problem and another problem and another problem, and eventually you get a Bittersweet Candy Bowl fan anime out of it. Oh wow, truly, Paulo's. This is society if Paulo and Lucy and Daisy got together. Well. Will there be any more chapters focusing on Sandy, and has Mike told her about the whole Lucy leaving situation? There will be, but they don't know it yet. There won't be any. There won't be more really. Mike hasn't told her about Lucy leaving as well. He only told her in the Vegas census scene here, and it was more about Blur. Oh, yeah. He probably didn't want to get gaslit by Sandy again and accused of loving Lucy, which he does. So you know. So how much money have you spent on the BCB comics, including materials such as paper and pens? An interesting question. Thousands more if I'm doing our taxes. I guess a lot. Wow, look at that. This is if Mike moved with Sandy and they go to a private school together. God, look how big she is. Absolutely, she's an Amazonian warrior princess compared to Mike. Like his little scraggly soft tail. You can see the fluff on it. It's nice. Is the person who got in the crash with Paulo and them a known character? No, I suppose there's a story to who he is and how he handled the crash, but you can assume he's not that important in that in the end the damage wasn't that severe. It was a stranger and it was their fault. Totally. No more Donde Esta Lucy. Oh no, she's gone again. Damn, sucks to suck. I like this. Oh man. Hello Nurse. Remember that? You guys old enough to remember Hello Nurse? Lucy being the Grim Reaper? That's just like foreshadowing. And Daisy being a pumpkin. Adorable. Wonderful. Black Friday sale. Alright, well it's too late for that. Several years too late for that. See. What do you think about not safe for work images related to BCB characters? Sorry if this was asked before. Hot. It was asked before, and she said, Teshi said it was okay, and now Suitcase is saying it's okay. So there you go. People, so last week I was talking about how there was a possibility that BCB was getting banned off of the co-threads, or the co-board on 4chan, but that isn't true. We actually had a very successful thread this week, and there's no not safe for work images on it, but on the trash threads there are. People still make not safe for work stuff. I won't talk too much about it. I wish the not safe for work stuff was more wholesome than it is. It's kind of like really mean and sometimes violent, and I don't even like it, man. We need more art of the moms. Anyway, I'm done talking about this. So Lucy's personality is like Vero and Oliver's. So Lucy's personality is like Vero and Oliver's like Augustus. None of the characters mapped very well to us, which I think is a good thing. Nobody likes self-inserts. I mean, there's quite a bit of Lucy in... There's quite a bit of Teshi in Lucy, I feel. Like, just from that one story that I read, though. Nothing turns me off from a series faster than the characters basically being the author. Why do that? Isn't it more fun to explore characters that are not you that would do things you wouldn't do? I always kind of enjoy that. It makes it a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I don't know. More self-insert questions. It looks like that this whole self-insert accusation thing has been going on since the beginning of time. When will you guys come to Africa to have a comic convention? That would be an adventure. No. Black Friday again. Look at that. One of the new posters. Guess what? Sandy's not allowed to be in the bowl. Look, fucking Jess got to be in the bowl and Sandy didn't. That's hilarious. Fucking blown out. Sandy stands blown out. Are you still going to pick, like, the top 3 comments on the pages and stuff? I know it's most likely the least of your priorities, but I like seeing what you pick. No worries, though. That work is really mainly done by comments janitors who aren't always available to pick comments. If anyone wants to volunteer, they can let me know. Well, too late for that, because it's all Patreon comments now. I'm usually like, nah, I don't want much for Christmas, but then I remembered BCB merch exists. Same. Where do you get all these awesome reaction GIFs? I look at various Tumblrs and pick up any GIF I like. I have a super messy folder of them because of that. Honestly, I should really get to fixing that. I don't even remember half the GIFs I've saved. This is a really good one. Like, what? How does, like, this media even get created? Was this like for a commercial or something? Like, weird. Let's see. One of the new posters. This is a good poster. Amalian, got Sue, Amaya. Jess is in it. Look at Sandy. Can't even see her eyes. She's like hiding off in the shadows. Also, notice how Mike's looking up directly where Sandy is. Good. It's a subtle touch. Good touch. Why are they just standing outside their school in the dark, though? That's weird. They ghost hunting? What did the girl look like, by any chance? Legit don't remember. I am terrible at remembering faces and stuff, but I think she had really nice flowing hair. It might have been because of a wig or because she was naturally that fabulous. It's hard to say. I assume this is the person that I saw at Otacon that had Lucy's perfect voice. Haha. Oh. That's... Wait, what? Weird. Please sign my Lucy figurine. I will walk, run, drive, fly to you. Our convention schedule is at the bottom of the site, and Vera will gladly sign or draw anything you throw at her. Really now? Yep, I'm happy to sign absolutely anything free of charge. If you have books you got in the mail and you want signatures or doodles on them, just bring them to me. Bring them to conventions. Or if you ever see us some other way, like meetups or whatever. When's the next BCB meetup? Oh my gosh, it's a shrine. They swapped their free volume 2 for volume 3. Yeah, we're doing that. So interesting. See, there it is! There's the BCI card. I want one of those. I want to pull out my BCI card and be like, yeah, put it on my BCI. This is also an interesting... I don't know why there's mushrooms and it's raining. Just a weird, interesting thing. Is Yashi technically a teenage mother? Well, that is true, though. Actually, I think Yashi's still a child, right? Because if Yashi was born when Lucy found her in 3rd grade, Yashi would have been, like, extremely young. Like, maybe 4 when they found Chirpy? Hardly a teenager. Unless Yashis live shorter lives than, you know, the cats do, then maybe in cat years she's a teenager. Will we by any chance be receiving a chart with all the breeds of the characters at any point? Sorta want to know what breed Jasmine is. They used to be on the character page until I decided it was pretty ridiculous information put up there. Maybe somewhere like TV Tropes is a better place for people to collect this info? I don't think that's ridiculous at all. I think it's actually really cool that the cats have specific breeds. It's like an extra layer of creativity and insight that fleshes the world out. So I don't think it's ridiculous at all. I think it's ridiculous to think it's ridiculous. Lucy's getting 8. Sometimes things look cool and colored. Yeah, she was talking about Trapped. That was a good chapter. I already talked about it, though. Hi. Lamal, I know I send messages way too much, but I'm just wondering, are you guys planning to be at AB next year? Your comic is so awesome, and I'm usually too nervous to talk to you guys, haha. Sorry if this has been asked. Mobile sucks, Lamal. We have our table, and we'll be coming to Anime Boston 2015 for sure. Please gather your courage, or tweet at us and we'll nag you. It would be great to see you. I get sad if I don't have people visit me at conventions. You don't want to make me sad, do you? No pressure, I seriously love seeing the more convention stuff. Heyo, it's me, Felix D. Watt from the stream. Gives a tight hug, despite being a short creature. I enjoyed the stream, being at the stream, and I hope to be in more as I catch up with the comic. Thank you, Felix D. Watt. We love everyone who came along to watch. Streaming is the best because of all the cool people who visit, and I wish I could do it more often. I want to stream for 15 hours just for you guys. You can do it. You can do it whenever you want. You don't have to do it like once every 2 months. You can do it every month. The last of the 4 new posters. This is a nice poster. Very cute. This is like they went to a photo studio or something, and they're like, okay, everyone, pose for the camera, and that's what they got here. Is there any plan to do some little discounts on your store? I've been wanting to buy your books so bad, but considering the price and customs, Hill Hilly Billy like that, it's holding me off. Wait, Price Plus Customs Hilly Billy like that? It's holding me off. I'm not saying the book is not worthy the current base price. I love BCB. I'm just curious if there's any plan for it. Honestly, I feel like they're under. I feel like the BCB books are like, they could be charging more for them. I feel like you're getting an extremely good deal for them. But like I said, if you're out of country, it costs more, obviously. I kind of like the way Apple does things. You get a once a year Black Friday sale, and that's it. Otherwise, you cultivate a culture where everyone's looking for bargains all the time, and you start to inflate prices, and it gets all messed up. So the recent price reduction of our store items, example, $8 for charms, $99 for the all book bundle, is the cheapest the items will be for the foreseeable future. And while we'll probably do Black Friday 2015, I'll probably come up with some sort of bonus item rather than reduce prices on everything. It seems fairer. I hope you check back and look at the shipping prices now, though. It's partially because of this post that I spent a few hours punching numbers into shipping calculators, trying to reduce our shipping costs to the bare minimum, rounded down costs charged to us by Indicia, or whatever, however that's pronounced, in Amazon. Short of buying Uline supplies, we do our best to minimize shipping costs. It's the big 300-pager, heavy hardcovers we produce that are the real problem. Actually, I think it's cool that they would add in like a little extra for the Black Friday stuff. So occasionally in the comments, people talk about plot points that haven't happened. Things with Roger, Augustus, and Alejandro. If I'm not mistaken, which I may be, Alejandro had never even been mentioned in the comic. So what up with that? What do you mean? You didn't read Confrontation? This and the surrounding chapters talk about Alejandro. Roger is Tessa's ex and has nothing to do with Alejandro, though. Alejandro has never been referenced in the comic by name, similar to how Augustus went a long time before someone called him Augustus in the comic. Yeah, he's just some thug. It's kind of weird to talk about Confrontation, because it's like, do you refer to him as Alejandro, or you just refer to him as the bar thug? Because that's basically what he was for years. I don't know what this is. I kind of know what this is a reference to, but I don't really. But this is a nice picture. Very flashy. I mean, this isn't really a question, but I just wanted to thank you for all the time, work, and effort you put into your amazing comic. My best friend and I love it so much. Keep up the good work, and we can't wait to see what happens next. Kit Caddy and Savis the K. Thank you. I'll do my best. Very kind. Very good. It's Veronica's birthday today. She has had a tough week and keeps mumbling nonsense like no one likes me, so I am changing that today on Twitter. And here you can help. And here with your help. Draw BCB art of acceptable pairings and send her shiny Pokemon. Acceptable pairings? What do you mean acceptable pairings? I assume you didn't want people to send images of like Lucy and Alejandro together, but like what? Are there like other pairings that are like not acceptable? I want a list of every pairing, every ship that is forbidden, and I will come up with a list of even more cursed pairings. I kind of want to make a video about that. What is the most cursed, most obscure crack ship BCB pairing? That would be really interesting to look at. Has Daisy's mom ever featured in a panel? I remember her being mentioned when she was volunteered to make extra cakes for Paulo in an early grade school flashback, but I only remember seeing her dad. Also, I think the sketch of her on the 25th looks like a straddle vault. Dangerous maneuver when you are as clumsy as Daisy, but it looks like it went well. Appeared in a BCI comic. Yeah, but like you have to pay for the BCI. Oh, except for everyday life. What is a straddle vault? This is not... Okay, never mind. It's fine. I like this image. Even if it doesn't end up working out, I want Augustus and Daisy to at least have one date. Give them one date. In fact, if Daisy's gonna get upset with Paulo being like interested in all these other girls, what I think Daisy should do is like sort of a retaliation, is to like really make an effort to like reach out to Augustus and be like, fine, I'm gonna go date Augustus because he actually wants me. And like not like throw that in Paulo's face, but kind of like her own like lashing out to like the world and just doing this thing that everyone's kind of looked down on. And they go on a date and she just kind of realizes that while she likes Augustus, he's not really the guy that she's looking for. But just give him one date. That's all I ask. Just one date and we're cool. Wow, this is great. I love this. Look how fluffy she is. She's got a big old mohawk. Do it for Vero. Let's see. If there's his birthday roll, I guess I'll put the other pics into the queue. I wonder if there's like a compendium of all the images that were sent. Is Amaya ever going to come back? I haven't seen her in a while and I'm starting to get worried. Amaya will be around eventually, but as a not super important character, I highly disagree. I don't think it's a guaranteed bet that you'll see an Amaya chapter anytime soon. There should be an Amaya chapter. Why isn't there? Why not? Why not do that? So Teshi, I know people talk a lot about your depression and people can be very rude about it. I just want to say that the way you fight it and keep going with the things you love doing is just so inspiring. I have lost quite a few people because they couldn't fight their depression, including close friends and family. Seeing you be happy and having fun with everything you are doing makes you an idol in my opinion. You are wonderful and believe it or not, you have changed my life for good. It's very sweet. Well, I don't honestly mind when people talk to me about this kind of thing, as long as it can help open understanding to it. Some people legit don't get the way a lot of depressed minds work, and like, in a way that's good for them. I mean, they haven't experienced that kind of pain, but I hope they can at least have empathy for people around them that totally really struggle with things that they deem unnecessary. I don't know. Talking things out is super great and can help people learn things, so I'm always happy to talk about my sadness and anger and everything. I'm so sorry about the people you've lost. Wishing you very sad. And of course, Paulo eating Lucy. This is really cute, by the way. But this is the future we could have had, by the way. This is what they... Remember what they took from you. I always say that. Whenever a ship gets sunk, I'm like, remember what they took from you. Unless it's Abby x Daisy, then I'm like, you know what? That should have been sunk 20 chapters sooner. Plot twist. Vero and Soupy are the same person. I assume this means something in Pokemon lore. I don't know what this means. Is Lucy the only one that can sing well, or are there other characters as well? Some can sing better than others. Lucy singing is just a trait of hers that was noticed. Let's see. Hi, Vero. You know what? I bet Rachel could sing pretty well. Hi, Vero. I love your comic. I'm from You know what? You know what else? I bet Augustus could sing pretty good too. I bet that's like a hidden talent. Like, he sings to himself in the shower, and he's like actually really good at singing. I think that that soup you search is actually what I call a veggie smoothies. My mom cooked with... Oh, okay, I'm gonna try this so hard. Yeah, it's just about food. I don't really got much to say about that. TCAF. Oh, Toronto, Canada Anime Festival. I assume that's what that's short for. Okay, never mind. Yeah, more... Oh my gosh, look how big his hand is. He's like that. You know, I might actually save this and cut that hand out. Cut this hand out and use it as like a meme pointing finger reaction image. Hey, firstly, I just want to say that I love your comic. It's so incredible and I always look forward to the next update. Anyway, I have a really odd question. If all the characters in BCB were actually actors in a webcomic, do you think that any of them wouldn't get along? Thanks for reading and for making this awesome webcomic, even if you don't answer. So before we get into the answer for this, I actually took inspiration from one of the images that we're eventually going to come across in this blog, but it's also in the Candy Boru, where Mike and Lucy are performing the December confrontation, where like Mike is screaming at Lucy. And I was like, if this was just an act, if this was just a show, how would Mike and Lucy feel about this situation? And in my mind, Mike would probably not be comfortable with screaming at Lucy and saying all these horrible things. And that would be something that would weigh on him and he would not be able to properly perform, because he can't put his heart into it, because he doesn't want to hurt Lucy. He doesn't actually want to hurt her, but like in his mind he's such a good boy that he can't bring himself to even say it as like a fake pretend thing, because it's too real. And I wrote a little fan fiction about that, but you guys are probably not going to get to read that for a very long time. You mean like almost as if they were acting in a play together? I suppose the answers would be pretty obvious about who wouldn't get along with who. I think it depends, because in that case all of BCB is something acted out, meaning that the actors don't necessarily have to like each other in real life. I'm sure they'd be professional and not judge the actions of the character, but their personalities in real life could be very well different. I've seen some series that play with this idea, like showing a behind the scenes of the actors when they're just being themselves. It could go anywhere, really. How old is Jordan? 17. Good. Short, straight to the point. I love it. Look, she's so confused. He's like, oh. Yeah. I love Paulo's face. He's like, yeah. Boys. He's like, yeah, Mike. He's mine now. White cat, get out of here. Are Jordan and Paulo friends now? I think it would be cool for them to be friends even if it had nothing to do with Lucy. They're on amicable speaking terms. That's good. Wouldn't Paulo be 16 by now? The about page says he's only 15. I don't think the ages are accurate. Good point, I changed it. Magical Girl Lucy. Actually, this is probably a reference to an anime I don't get. So I was wondering, you've swapped through a bunch of different drawing styles with BCB, and I was wondering if you have ideas of what the next step would be from watercolor. To be honest, I'd be happy if it stayed the way it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't really know until I get there, honestly. Something has to irritate me about a current style before I consider changing it, and I've been quite happy with the watercolor style. I'd consider changing it if I get the same look digitally, but I've tried to paint watercolory before on my laptop and I've gotten too frustrated / my laptop would run out of memory. So yeah, I'm too impatient with digital work and I wish I could be better at it. I use it pretty bare bones. Well, it's funny because the entire comic is now digital, I do believe. Yeah, so this is what it looks like now. So, I mean, she did eventually switch over to this art style. This might actually be this. I think this new style is the longest running art style she's done for the comic. This new style might be here to stay. It would be really interesting to see another style though. I just wanted to thank you for characterizing Jordan quite a bit in Total Recall. Feels good to see more, and I love characterization. Have a nice day. I totally agree. I feel like there's a lot of characters, and even the main characters should be fleshed out more. We should see them doing more not relationship-related things, not shipping-related things. Thank you. Jordan's always been more of a goofy character even in the old series. It's funny how he's mainly appeared because he was angry or glum, when he's way different in normal circumstances. Just gets mad about his little sister because he's protective of her, similar to the older brother Sam. Wow. And we finish with the most notorious request of the night, Rachel in the Nicki Minaj Anaconda pose, and the role reversal request which followed. I hope you enjoyed this. It is absolutely wild that they drew this. Who would have guessed? Well, she's a bit thicker than Paulo is, but still. It's so wild that this exists. Look at his face. Like drooling. Those drawings of Jess are the best thing ever, OMG. Yay, thank you. Jessica's hard to draw for me, but honestly I love it when I get her relatively right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of today's stream. We're making some progress. But anyway, DCB prototypes. We're gonna end it for today. When we come back next week, it will be regular videos, and I think you guys are. I gotta decide which video I'm gonna put up. I think I'm gonna put the Sue video up. I have a lot of fun videos coming out, and I have 3 videos in the works, and a lot more videos that are ready to go. So I appreciate you guys showing up. Let me find some music to play us out on. You know what? We'll use this to play us out on. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Mute.